All right, good morning, everybody. Good morning and Happy New Year. Welcome to the start of another academic year. You know, besides commencement days, this is my favorite time of year, and the positive energy that you can just feel in the room, and that's generated around campus this week and next as you all ramp up to do the work that you do so well. It's just electric. There's excitement for new beginnings, and the sights and sounds of a busy campus have been building, so now it's time to get going. Thank you for being here this morning as we prepare for a great year. And as I'll discuss later in these remarks, we do indeed have a big year ahead of us, and I am excited to get to work, to have everybody back on campus, and to have your energy and enthusiasm run through this university as we gear up for this momentous academic year. Your hard work is unmatched in the state, and it shows. It shows in what our students do, the simulations they participate in, the internships, the research projects, the creative works, their volunteerism and community engagement, and their talents on the courts and fields, whether it's suiting up as a student athlete or as a member of the governor's own marching band. Now, at commencement, I say that our faculty are some of the best in the country, and I mean it. Your work ensures that our students have opportunities to learn inside and beyond the classroom, to put theory into practice, to engage in scientific research, to create works of arts. Your work is rewarded by recognitions from national professional associations, and it's supported by record levels of grant funding, and on and on. All of this helps our students prepare for success after graduation. And our staff is just as talented and diligent. We have the best support for military-affiliated students in the state, perhaps the country, because of the leadership of our Military and Veterans Affairs staff. Our officers keep our campus safe, and our grounds crews ensures that we live up to our reputation of having a beautiful campus. And I do also want to specifically recognize our physical plant, our residence life and dining services staff, who somehow made it to campus during that ice storm in the early spring semester to ensure that our students were housed, fed, and safe. There are so many dedicated faculty and staff around campus, I'm going to get myself into trouble if I start ticking off a bunch of examples. We truly have wonderful professionals who strive to make Austin Peay as awesome as it can be. So clearly, we have a lot to be proud of. And I'm blessed to be surrounded by a team of leaders and so many on campus who work hard to move this university forward. Work at Austin Peay is a team sport, and we are blessed to have such dedicated professionals around us. And I am certainly grateful for my own team. The team captain, of course, certainly Archwood 6, is my wife, Kirsten. She is so supportive of everything here and does so much to make Austin Peay better. I still call her Austin Peay's #1 volunteer. She engages with alumni and donors, hosts all kinds of events and dinners. You can often find a bunch of students in the Archwood kitchen, busily engaged in one of her cooking or baking lessons. When I come home after the office, and I walk in sometimes, and I wish that some of those treats were for me, but they all go home with the students, which is just fine. She's also known to surprise different campus offices with batches of homemade chocolate chip cookies, chocolate dip pretzels, Rice Krispie treats, or s'mores cups. And if she hasn't dropped off homemade treats in your area, talk to your deans, directors, or SLT members are dropping the ball. Got to get on that list. Finally, she co-chaired Candlelight Ball Committee last year and is chair this year, so she is a fantastic ambassador for Austin Peay. Thank you, honey. I love you. And of course, I'm blessed to have an incredibly talented set of leaders around me, and I'd like to introduce the senior leadership team at this time. Chief of Staff and Secretary of the Board, Dr. Carol Clark. Vice President for Student Affairs, Dr. Leonard Clemens. Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Mitch Cordova. Athletics Director Jordan Harmon. Chief Strategic Communication Officer, Jenna Holloman. Vice President for Military and Veterans Affairs, Major General retired Walt Lord. Vice President for Alumni Engagement and Philanthropy, Chris Phillips. Vice President for Administration and Finance, Dr. Sharuz Rupavar. Vice President for Legal Affairs and Organizational Strategy, Donnell Whiteside. And Chief of Institutional Culture and Title IX Coordinator, Dr. Lanisa Williams. Thank you all for your dedicated leadership. I think the university is in a strong position. Our alumni are proud to be graduates of Austin Peay. And every time I meet alums, the story is the same. They tell me if it wasn't for Austin Peay, there never would have been a chance for them to be so successful in the lives that they're enjoying. And this happened earlier this summer when a number of us were having lunch with an alum who is supporting the chemistry department here. He recognized that the excellent undergraduate education that he received from Austin Peay, specifically the chemistry department, gave him a tremendous advantage in graduate school and later on in his career. Yet, as successful as we have been and currently are, there are things in the lay of the land for Austin Peay that we need to confront. The Tennessee Higher Education Commission, THEC, recently laid out a set of new expectations for the four-year universities in the state. These include changes to the funding formula, the introduction of three-year focused bachelor's degrees, and opportunities to certify some of our non-credit workforce programs for Pell eligibility. The most significant change to the funding formula is to include post-graduation success, namely a measure of how well our graduates are doing after completing a degree. And as I said last year, we need to better track our graduates. We need to be doing much more work in and alongside the curriculum to prepare students for their careers. We need to ensure that our students have the right experience inside and beyond the textbook so that they're able to get good jobs, start their careers immediately after graduating. And as I said last year, the efforts in student affairs to improve the Career Success Center are just the start. Curricular adjustments and a true partnership between academic affairs and student affairs will be necessary. Now, beyond these curricular and co-curricular adjustments, we need to improve our graduation rates. We need to get more of our students to that graduation stage. And the other significant challenge or change to the THEC funding formula is the fact that it will now measure the four-year graduation rate rather than the six-year rate. This is a challenge for us, since although our four-year rate has been increasing, it's still not even 40%. The good news, though, is that there is a big jump in graduation rates when you look at the 4.5-year and 5-year rates. This suggests that we're close. We need to get as many students as we can who are graduating in 4.5 or 5 years to graduate in 4 years instead. As I said last year, these efforts to improve our graduation rates will be some of the most important things that we do for the foreseeable future. The other expectations from THEC are actually opportunities. Focused degrees, where appropriate, can speed time to graduation and boost our ability to improve the social mobility of our students. Similarly, we have an advantage in having a wide variety of non-credit workforce credentials already in place. Getting some of these certified for Pell Grant support can make a big difference for those looking to improve their job skills and employability. Now, in addition to the expectations of THEC, I think the enrollment landscape in the state will start to shift, if it hasn't already. The University of Tennessee system has rolled out a very aggressive strategic enrollment plan with goals of quick growth in their undergraduate populations. So we will need to remain on our toes and continue to launch our own aggressive and innovative enrollment initiatives. This enrollment initiative, this enrollment issue is confounded by continued questions amongst Tennesseans, really the whole country, about the value of higher education. ROI questions remain, and the college-going rate among high school graduates in Tennessee continues to decline. We have done a good job in answering those questions with our low tuition and fees, vibrant learning environments, and the fact that more than 59% of our recent graduates graduated with no student loan debt. Yeah, that's great. But we need to reinforce this publicly to ensure that Austin Peay does not get swept up in the narrative that college isn't worth it. Maintaining that enrollment growth is also critical, and even as it becomes more difficult, since state appropriations to Austin Peay and really the rest of the LGIs in the state has really leveled off. And as I've said before, the bottom line is enrollment is the bottom line. And so if you've listened to me talk about our campus priorities, you've heard the list: enrollment, student success, campus vitality, and preparing for the next fundraising campaign. But starting this year, we need to focus. We need to focus on enrollment and student success. These are the two priorities. I'm not saying that student life and campus energy isn't important, nor am I saying that fundraising isn't critical. But I am saying that everything that we do needs to be in support of recruiting, educating, and graduating our students so that they can be successful in the next phase of their life. We have had a number of years in a row of strong enrollment growth, and we need to maintain that momentum. Beyond ensuring the innovative work to increase the freshman class each year, we need to continue to increase the numbers of new students of all other types: graduate students, transfer students, military-affiliated students, dual enrollment students. This will take new energy and creativity as other universities ramp up their efforts, like I mentioned the UT system is doing, or as other universities finally realize that Clarksville is the fastest growing and demographically the youngest community in the state. So we need to protect our own backyard. Enrollment growth will require that we continue to address those ROI concerns that I mentioned earlier. The narrative increasingly is that college is not worth it, that it is too expensive, that it takes too long, and that the results are uncertain. We have been bucking that narrative by holding costs down and offering support for experiential learning opportunities for our students, amongst many other things. And so our value proposition is strong, but we need to continue to protect and enhance it as questions about higher education, in particular four-year universities, are not diminishing. Our other priority is student success. We need to continue to improve our retention and persistence rates. We are only making incremental progress, and it looks like as of today that our retention rate may slip a bit compared to last year. So it is true that in order to achieve fundamental improvement, something fundamental needs to change. The work of the Student Success Task Force has brought a number of innovative initiatives, and I know these things take time, but I'm excited to start seeing some results. Obviously, getting to graduation is a key concern amongst prospective students and their parents. Parents want their students to graduate in a timely fashion in order to hold costs down. Students themselves are excited to begin their next phase of their lives after graduation. So I'm fine, I'm excited, I'm happy about THEC's change in the funding formula to expect four-year graduation instead of 6. But it does mean that we have work to do. In addition to the work that we'll do on graduation rates, the post-graduation success of our students needs coordinated, intentional work. We need to better track our graduates. We need to be doing more work in and alongside the curriculum to prepare students for their careers. Students are here to improve their lives. Their parents want them gainfully employed, not to return to live in their basements. And THEC and the state of Tennessee expect us to improve our community's quality of life and to fuel the workforce. So, we have work to do in an increasingly challenging environment, but we should face this future confidently. Austin Peay is a strong university, filled with talented faculty, dedicated professional staff. We have momentum and a great university story to tell, and we are about to have a big year. Starting in January, we will celebrate the centennial of Austin Peay State University. We will, of course, spend time looking back on the legacies of those who came before us and share the stories of faculty, staff, and alumni who helped shape the university as we know it today. But perhaps more importantly, we will look forward and chart the course for the next century of Austin Peay. As you should know, our current strategic plan expires next summer, and so we will take this academic year to lay out a new strategic framework. This approach will provide guidance for us on the big issues and priorities without the prescriptive and deterministic elements of a traditional strategic plan. In today's world of higher education, I think it's unrealistic to think that we can precisely predict how the next 4 years or so are going to go. Our big priorities probably won't change, but how we get there probably will. So we're going to give ourselves some flexibility on the day-to-day and year-to-year work as we move forward, and I'm excited to begin this. And in April, we'll launch a $100 million fundraising campaign. The timing is perfect. As we celebrate our centennial, we will begin supporting our next century in a way that will allow us to share our success stories and inspire new generations of Austin Peay family members. So, I am excited for this year. We should all feel honored and humbled by the opportunity to be a part of Austin Peay at this moment. We are the ones who get to lay the foundation for the next century of our university. This is a big job, one that carries some weight, so we can't screw this up. But it is an amazing privilege to get to do this work. I am indeed excited for this year, and I hope you are too. Let's go, Peay.